What's up, guys? Happy Monday, happy morning Monday to all to you. But before we go so far, guys, please subscribe the red button down below, turn the notification bell on so that you can get notified whenever we post any game. This is date 2nd of 3rd March. Happy new month. Please, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that red button down below. Then we're gonna start the games, but today games are kind of fixed. So we have Jaguar Royal Excellis Virtron versus Zulte Wargame Youth over 2.5 and yes. So you will go to over 2 goals and yes. So this is over 2.5 goals and yes. Total both teams to score and over 2.5. We have Jaguar Lomel SK versus Artwap Youth. Total and both teams to score. So over 2.5 and yes. Club Bourget Youth versus Heerenveen Louvain over 2.5 and yes, both team to score and over 2.5. We have Club Bourget versus Jaguar KSV Losere over 2.5 and yes, total both teams to score yes. Jaguar KFCO Beer Scotch and versus Westalo over 2.5 and yes. So both teams to score and over 2.5. So all my games, as you can see, is of 1.6, 157, 141, 171 and 155. The total odds combined is 9.45. So if you stake 1,000, you're gonna get 6,500. Please, I'm gonna repeat just in case you never heard. Royal Excelsior versus Zultem Wargame over 2.5 and yes. Lomel SK versus Altwap Youth over 2.5 and yes. Club Bourget versus Heerenveen Louvain over 2.5 and yes. Club Bourget versus JK Kassev Loser over 2.5 and yes. Biascoach Wiltragic versus Wastalo over 2.5 and yes. All these are Netherlands games, so please stake wisely. What's up, guys? This is Miraball Bets, where we give free games daily. This is date 3rd. So we're giving games. Schalke 04 versus Bayern Munich over 2.5 and yes. Leamington versus Kings Lynn over 2.5 and yes. Hangford versus Concord Rangers over 2.5 and yes. Billary K versus Havant and W over 2.5 and yes. I'm going to repeat just in case you never heard. Billary K versus Havant and W over 2.5 and yes. Hangford versus Concord Rangers over 2.5 and yes. Leamington versus Kings Lynn over 2.5 and yes. Sharks 04 versus Bayern Munich over 2.5 and yes. So guys, put the games, make sure you stake wisely. It's not a must you put all of the games. So the odds combined total is 11.44. If you put 1,000, you get. What's up, guys? This is Betika. The first game is Lyon versus Paris Saint-Germain. This is the 4th games. So the first game is Lyon versus PSG over 2.5 and yes. Leverkusen versus Union Berlin over 2.5 and yes. Frankfurt versus Bremen over 2.5 and yes. We have Ike Anthens versus Aris Thessalonique. Listen very carefully. Under. Means we don't expect more than over 2.5 goals. So this is under 2.5 and no. Juventus versus Milan over 2.5 and yes. I'm going to repeat just in case you never heard. Lyon versus Paris Saint-Germain over 2.5 and yes. Leverkusen versus Union Berlin over 2.5 and yes. Frankfurt versus Bremen over 2.5 and yes. Ike Arntens versus Aris Thessalonique under 2.5 and no. Juventus versus Milan over 2.5 and yes. The odds combined is 27.83. Stake 1,000, you get 18,753. Be careful. I think there might be a mistake somewhere. So make sure you choose the correct ones. What's up, guys? This is Miraball Bets. We are on our date 5th games. So the first game is Grand versus Athletic Bilbao over under 2.5 and no. FC Hamstand versus FCSB under 2.5 and no. Napoli versus Inter over 2.5 and yes. CA Junior versus Flamingo under 2.5 and no. I'm going to repeat just in case you never heard. Granda versus Athletic Bilbao under 2.5 and no. AFC Hamstand versus FCSB under 2.5 and no. Napoli versus Inter over 2.5 and yes. CA Junior versus Flamengo under 2.5 and no. Please make sure you follow the rules. The odds combined is 15.95. The odds combined is 15.95. Put 1,000, you're gonna get 10,833. See you on the date 6. What's up, guys? This is Betika again. We're back. This is date 6 of the morning. Duisburg versus Magdeburg over 2.5 and yes. Nuremberg versus Hanover over 2.5 and yes. BW Linz versus Steyr over 2.5 and yes. Kaffenberger versus Pasching over 2.5 and yes. Horn versus Grizer Ake over 2.5 and yes. I'm going to repeat just in case you never heard. Duisburg versus Magdeburg over 2.5 and yes. Nuremberg versus Hanover over 2.5 and yes. BW Linz versus Steyr over 2.5 and yes. Kaffenberger versus Pasching over 2.5 and yes. Horn versus Grazer AK over 2.5 and yes. The odds company is 28.28. Put 1,000, you get 19,053. Let's tune on to date. What's up, guys? This is date 7 morning. Austria versus Leistenau versus Austria Wien 2 over 2.5 and yes. Waker Innsbruck versus Florida's Dover AC over 2.5 and yes. Melbourne Victory versus Sydney over 2.5 and yes. Adelaide versus Western United over 2.5 and yes. I'm going to repeat just in case you never heard. Austria Leistenau versus Austria Wien 2 over 2.5 and yes. Waker Innsbruck versus Florida's Dover AC over 2.5 and yes. Melbourne Victory versus Sydney over 2.5 and yes. Adelaide versus Western United over 2.5 and yes. The odds company is 11.59. Stake 1,000, you get 7,926. Guys, this is Betika 8th morning. Man United versus Man City over 2.5 and yes. Chelsea versus Everton over 2.5 and yes. Nordjylland versus Brøndby over 2.5 and yes. Mainz versus Düsseldorf over 2.5 and yes. Halle versus Ingolstadt over 2.5 and yes. I'm going to repeat just in case you never heard. Man United versus Manchester City over 2.5 and yes. Chelsea versus Everton over 2.5 and yes. Nordjylland versus Brøndby over 2.5 and yes. Mainz versus Düsseldorf over 2.5 and yes. Halle versus Ingolstadt over 2.5 and yes. The odds company is 33.13. Put 1,000, you get 22,286. So guys, before we go so far, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn the notification bell on so that you can get notified whenever we post any game. Also, it's good that you share our MBB channel with the rest of your groups, with the rest of your family, and all the rest of your brothers and sisters. You're welcome to MBB, where we give free games daily. Please make sure to tune in. Always follow us and the guide till you get the what we are about to give you is a blast. So you don't know what we're gonna give you at the end of the day. So it's good to always make sure that you've hit that red button down below, and also turn the notification bell on so that you can get always notified whenever MBB is gonna post anything. MBB, the home of wins. Have a good day.